fucking Jose Mourinho, dude. And I think we can all say we all very much hate this manager. Like he took us back, I think, years in progress. He the thing that really pissed me off before I go into the story behind his demise was that he every decision seemed to be made out of a selfish, instinct out of him. Everything he did was, how do I protect myself? How do I look good in front of the media? How do I make sure that I do not get any blame for this? And it was just like every single game, it was so fucking annoying to see. But let's go through some of this history that Jose Mourinho, that started his demise from the very first day. And the very first thing he did was in preseason and going into the regular season, he didn't take Schweinsteiger onto the traveling squad for the US trip. Then he moved Schweinsteiger, a fucking legend of the game, a legend, onto playing with the reserves. What the fuck, dude? If you don't want to pick him, fine. If you don't want him in your 18, fine. You do not move someone like that and force him. He apparently took his name out of the fucking locker room and moved him into the reserve squad. Didn't even allow him to sit in. What could a classy man like Schweinsteiger have done? And that fucker didn't complain once. He went to every single one of our games and watched from the stands. And he always supported the team. So Jose just started off on the wrong foot with all of us there. But he won the fucking Community Shield. Barely won. Zlatan saved us in that game. And LVG brought us there by winning the FA Cup. So, then he's already saying, I've won something. And then slowly, he started bringing in his own players. He brought Mkhitaryan, he brought in Bailly, he brought in Zlatan and Pogba. The two really, really big signings for him, Zlatan and Pogba, which he then went on to ride their coattails. Like Zlatan saved us in every game. We had no sense of football. And he was always saying, we need to transition. But it was almost more boring than fucking LVG because we were fucking sitting back against the shittiest teams and Zlatan would score a goal out of nowhere. And I think the best one is Bournemouth's goal. He scored it from fucking 32 yards out in our second or third game. So I think it all showed from there that we're starting on a negative approach and we're not moving forward like the United way. Okay, so now we're winning games. We're still, in the running. And then he starts saying, okay, Henrik Mkhitaryan, you can fuck off now. You played one game when I brought you in, but, I'm going to keep you out, in the dog house for 6 months and keep ripping you in the media saying he's not ready. Then bring you in for the toughest game against Manchester City with Jesse Lingard. And then they played shit, brought him off for 45 minutes. Dude, you haven't played the man for 6 months. You're bringing him in the hardest game of our year when Man City's home. And then you take him out in 45 minutes and you again say in the post-match press conference, he's not ready. He lost us this game. What the fuck, dude? What kind of management is that? So already 2 players he's fucked with. Then we keep going, shit performances after shit performances. We're doing terrible in the Premier League. We put all of our attention on the Europa League. And somehow we win. Somehow we get to the final, even though Zlatan gets injured. And even though he carried us there, and we win, and it puts a Band-Aid on all the shit he just did. And I agree as a fan. Hell yeah, dude, we're in the Champions League. But we just fucking 6th Premier League. And it just puts a Band-Aid. And he used that as an excuse. So then, okay, we go on to the next season and he brings in a few more players. And again, we start off the season, we're playing shit. But we keep winning. Somehow 1-0s. And all the other teams are shit. Liverpool is still struggling because they just brought in Klopp. And, Tottenham aren't doing well. Arsenal are doing shit. And we get to second place, even though all of those teams that I just mentioned were way better than us. Again, papering over the cracks. We had no structure. Then we move on to the third season where he can't stop bitching about the preseason. Oh, we shouldn't go to Asia. It's so fucking badly planned, blah, blah, blah. Dude, non-stop complaining. Oh, the board didn't get me what I want. I didn't get a center back, but you still spent 78 million. You brought in Fred and he brought in Diogo Dalot. But nonstop bitching. Finally, we go into the season, and everything that was being papered over the cracks comes out. Pogba starts getting in heated debates. I mean, you see the training ground shit.
Yeah.
They fucking hate each other. Our best player, he started the demise of why Pogba wanted to leave. Lukaku again wasn't performing this year after having a great first season. I didn't mention that we brought him in, but that was a huge signing. And everything starts to unravel. We're losing. He's blaming everybody that he can fucking get his hands on. Luke Shaw's too shit. He's unfit. He's fat. Lingard is not performing the way I want. Pogba's not performing. And then the most fucking disgraceful thing that he did was Anthony Martial was on a 6-game scoring streak, and it's about to be January, and Mr. Jose Mourinho decides, yes, let's bring in someone who will ruin our wage structure, someone who has been injured for the last 6 months, and when he came back, he was shit for Arsenal, and someone who's just have overall negative attitude and ruin everything for us. We brought in Alexis Sanchez, and he's really just like the peak of Pogba wants to get on Sanchez's salary. De Gea wants to get on Sanchez's salary. Rashford wants to get on, who's the only one who fucking deserves it. And that's the demise. He lost to Liverpool, and that's the history. He fucking lost to Liverpool after so long. We were all begging him to leave. It was so toxic. And that's his story. It was just a complete shit show under Jose Mourinho. And like I said, took us back years. Now I will hand the floor to you guys to continue to shit on this man.
All right.
I'll go first. Man, Jose Mourinho, what a fucking story. He spent 461 million euros in total, by the way. And and also the whole point on Mkhitaryan drilling. Like, I think his confidence was just down because of that. I think he ended Mkhitaryan's career with that as well. He's not performing well at Arsenal now as well. Has he left yet? I don't think so.
He's in Roma.
He's in Roma.
Yeah. Oh, he's in Roma now, yeah. So, that was a swap deal with Alexis Sanchez for that. Didn't make sense at all. Sanchez really fucked things up a lot more for us. He's still our player. We're still facing that problem of, he's being contracted. I think recently Inter Milan came out and said that, fuck this guy. We don't need him. We're going to send him back to Manchester. I wonder if Ole's going to use him at all, or, we might just, kick him out as well. Don't know about that. But, Jose Mourinho's really fucked things over. Took us backwards 2 years at least. The whole, park the bus mentality was very evident when he was playing with Man United, like you mentioned. We would just sit back and, score one goal and sit back. No attacking football after that and stuff. We've lost. I think we could have scored a lot more goals if it wasn't for that philosophy. His big fucking ego was the biggest issue in the dressing room as well. He was making players a lot more. He was making players nervous and very uncomfortable. By suggesting that he was defending the team was actually hurting the team a lot more. If you guys remember the game after Sevilla, I think the Champions League game, where he just walks out, storms out, goes respect. We'll try and put that clip up here.
3 for me and 2 for them. Respect, man. Respect.
Respect. 3-0. Respect. Fucking bullshit.
But it's horrible, man. It's from a manager who's won Champions Leagues with 3 different teams, and is hailed as one of the greatest, the chosen one, whatever it is, comes into our team, and it was a slow death of Man United as we know it. Fuck this guy, dude. Karthik, go for it.
And I think every time he was so close to getting sacked, he would go and win a game against Juventus or against and then he would like you said, Arman, he would just put a fucking band-aid on things. All right, I might have something, after all, he's a season trophy winner or whatever. But dude, at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of the issues we're facing with Pogba right now and the initial shit we went through with Lingard, the lack of discipline within the team, it had a lot to do with him, dude. He seems like this hardcore, this person who's so hardcore and disciplined or whatever, but Dude, he himself is so all over the place. Like he has no discipline in front of the media. He's just shitting on players. He doesn't think twice before what he says in front of the media, and that affected everyone, dude. And I think the players, um, I guess even the players like Pogba, Lingard, and stuff kept. I think that ego sort of like built within them too, and it was eventually between what happened between Pogba and Mourinho was just an ego clash, and it was so evident it was for the cameras, dude. Because dude, literally
Yeah.
the media is only let in for like 15 minutes of their training sessions. So during that point is when Mourinho had to pick up a fucking fight. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like this is definitely some fucked up weird
Yeah.
publicity shit that he was doing. But yeah, I mean, I think the only counterpoint I had was, yeah, Mourinho complained a fuckload, but the preseason games thing is something that even Louis Van Gaal pointed out that what Manchester United have been struggling with lately is putting aside their commercial aspect of things and
Mhm.
the football bit of it. And he's like, that's where like we need a really good technical director, which is what we all keep talking about. But yeah, because
Yeah.
what happened was even when Louis Van Gaal came, the first season, the preseason games in the USA, we won all of them. We won
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
them. Then we started the league. We played against Swansea and we lost. And he was just like, yeah, obviously, players were fucking tired after playing like so many preseason games. It wasn't like one, two, or three. It was a significant amount just for the commercial purposes. So yeah, it's like I get that point, I guess, but yeah, Mourinho was a fucking prick, and he couldn't stop complaining. And overall, he just, I think, yeah, I think people don't realize what Ollie has done after Mourinho and the kind of mentality he's brought back.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's managed to do that, but I think that for sure deserves a lot of credibility because Mourinho fucked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and after Mourinho left, there was an expose done by by a journalist who contacted someone in the internal staff. People think it's that Rory, that coach, that assistant coach, and he
Yeah.
went on in detail about how toxic everything was, from the cafeteria staff to the coaching staff to everything. Just felt toxic as fuck, and you can't
Mm.
perform your best in a toxic environment. And I think honestly, Jose Mourinho is done as a top tier manager. I think he could do really good with a shit team and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
use this kind of atmosphere to get up a shit team, but he doesn't know how to handle top players anymore. You're seeing it at Tottenham. Jose Mourinho has lost 8 knockout round games in the Champions League in a row. Like that is ridiculous. From a guy like Karthik said, who won 3 Champions Leagues with 3 different teams, to going and not able to win shit.
Yeah.
It's such an incredible demise of, and he keeps getting a top job. I was so surprised when he got Tottenham,
Yeah.
and people were saying like, "Oh, Jose Mourinho is bringing up Tottenham. That's why they're getting results." No, they just wanted Pochettino out. It was stale,
Yeah.
and now you're seeing he was like, "Oh, where is?" He was being all smiley. Where is Deli Ali? I see his brother right now saying, and Sonaldo Nazario. Like he was saying
Yeah.
all this like shit for the
Cryptic
media,
shit.
and
Yeah.
now it's already like, yeah, I subbed off Deli Ali in the Leipzig game because he was shit after 45 minutes. Yeah, Christian Eriksen fucking sucks. Yeah, I don't know what, Ndombele is doing. He's always injured. He's overweight. He's your summer signing. He was the top signing for Spurs.
Yeah.
He's a huge talent and apparently is a very sensitive dude. And again,
Mm.
you're just giving him even worse than Pogba got off the start when he's adjusting to life. He's 23, dude. He's fucking 23.
Yeah.
Like he's lost it, in my opinion. He's not a top tier
Yeah.
manager anymore.
I think he should
Yeah.
honestly just quit while he's ahead now and like,
He's not
just
ahead. He's so far behind.
I mean,
Like,
right now, yeah, but like
Yeah.
now what's gonna happen, I feel, is with Spurs as well. I don't think Spurs is making it to the top four for sure.
no chance.
No, no chance.
Yeah, yeah,
Kane
and
wants
I
to
don't
leave. Deli
see.
Ali wants to leave. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just yeah, but you're right. I guess he just needs to like go to a smaller team maybe, or where like the expectations aren't so high because he hasn't adapted to modern style of football, dude. He's still
Yeah.
living in the past about when he won with what he did with Porto, what he did Madrid, what he did with Chelsea, like but those days are over, dude. Like we have a new generation of players that's come in. We play a different type of
Yeah.
football, more like on the counter attack, attacking type of football, which I don't think Mourinho has ever understood
Yeah.
or as
Dude, I don't know
Trent.
how it's possible how he took a team like Tottenham, who were one of the best passing team in the
Yeah.
league,
Yeah.
and made them one of the shittiest. They look like they don't have control of the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dude. He's
Confidence,
had such
like
a good mind.
he's like,
And he can't even like attract the big names anymore. We
No.
Tottenham without even like you even started whinging about like how Tottenham are not giving him any transfer budgets and stuff to make some big purchases and stuff. And you're like, dude, look at yourself. Like, look at your history. You know the reason why they're not doing this for you. And like Tottenham is in like their transition period where they paid a shit ton of money for their like the renovation of the new stadium. So they don't have a lot of like allocations for budgets. So they're expecting Mourinho, who's got a vast experience in the Premier League, to come and sort of bring these changes where they can like change Tottenham from like a number five finishing team to like a number three finishing team. But then, yeah, his mentality is all fucked already. Like he's already lost the dressing room now. Tottenham has again gone 2 years back. It's gonna suck for them. I don't. The only thing I see him doing after this is going back to Portugal and managing like Sporting or Benfica or something like that, and just like ending his career there. 'Cause
But dude,
I
I
don't.
think he could be good for like a Newcastle, like a shit team in the Premier League where he's like, everything's against us. And those guys, they will take shit because they're not top tier players with, huge egos. He could go to a shit team like Rafa Benitez did and like move them up. I don't know why he went for Spurs. Like his ego is just up here. He should have got a shit team with potential like West Ham. They have so much potential, even though they're playing absolute shit, and brought him up and then proven like, dude, I'm still here. But he had to go for another top club and ruined him. Now his stock is gone.
No, and I feel like I think for him the solution is just buying more players. Like
Yeah,
anything that goes wrong, he just feels like, all right, I gotta buy this guy. I gotta buy this guy. We'll invest in this guy. And like, there's no like player retention. If I was a player in Jose Mourinho's squad, I would be very worried about my place the next year, because like no matter what I've said, see, we've seen this happen with Mata as well when he was player of the season twice in a row,
yeah,
and you fucking sold him. You sold him. Like it's to us, so I'm like happy about that. But yeah, you can expect this. Like Lukaku, this happened to Lukaku as well. Now, like yesterday, something came out where Lukaku
yeah,
praised Oli again about this,
yeah,
where
Yeah.
he mentioned that like yeah, Oli really wanted me to stay, but like I just had enough. I had to leave, and yeah, and he also said that like Oli was very genuine about it. He helped me out with the transfer, everything, made it as comfortable as easy as it is for the transition to move to Inter Milan. And if someone's like fucked up a player that bad that like even without you being in the club, he still can't stay in the club, that's some like Jose Mourinho tactics there, man. And like, yeah, I don't see him advancing Tottenham into anything now. I don't think they're out of the Champions League now as well. They're out of every title race, yeah, we'll see. I don't have much hope for Jose Mourinho now.
He's just a
Yeah.
selfish fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And
Well,
I
he's
think
not
like
unless he
Go ahead.
changes. Like
Mhm.
he's not gonna change now, dude. Like it's too late for the dude. Like it's like I don't see it happening. Like if he's gonna go ahead with the same mentality, yeah, he's not winning anything.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think, he's just always made selfish moves.
Yeah.
I think he needs to just recoup this summer, try to change, but I don't think he will, like you said, go to a shit club and rebuild himself. But he's toxic. He's just absolutely toxic. And
Yeah.
finally, dude, that feels like such a weight off my chest because I've been trying to fucking talk shit about Mourinho for so long. Finally, it's out. Like I feel at peace now. I feel calm. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we'll wrap up here unless you boys want to add in anything before we close.
Nah,
Oh,
dude. I mean,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the post Fergie demise, but hopefully recoup now. But the reasons behind why we've been fucking struggling since 2012, manager edition. I hope you guys liked this video and podcast. Please share it. Like us on Instagram, check us out on all platforms. On Spotify, we're actually doing much better than we thought on Spotify. People are listening to us, which is awesome. Support the channel and spread the love, boys and girls, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace out. Don't touch your face, guys. And wash your hands.
Don't touch your face. Don't touch your
Don't
face.
do it. Don't do it.
I think I'm
It's safe.
accepted.
All right. Till
All
the
right.
next one, boys. See you all later.
Peace out.